Welcome to the Farmcast.
Then we're back with another episode of the Farmcast. Today we are going to get a little wild. So we're going to spit out some conspiracy theories. I've got something for you guys, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard about these two that I have, but it's going to open up something where we're very smart people, and we are going to solve the definitive answer to these. And I think it will open up a can of worms that I'm excited to see where we go with this. So the first kind of theory I have for you guys here, you guys know the Beatles, the indie band, the famous small, not famous, the very small band, the Beatles.
I've heard of them.
If they're not American, what's the point? Am I right, fellow Americans?
It's true. So you guys know. Yeah. So you guys might know someone in the Beatles, a guy named Paul McCartney.
Yep.
You guys know who he is?
I know where to go.
You guys know Paul McCartney? Well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's the guy Kanye put on.
Yes. But did you know Paul McCartney's dead?
I don't know about that one.
He's dead. He
A
died.
couple other members of the Beatles are dead. I'm not sure about Paul.
Well,
I mean, you could have told me Paul's dead, and he could be dead or alive, and I'd believe either or.
He performed at Miller Park in like the last 15 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he comes to Summerfest.
A lot can happen in 15 years.
Yeah.
he did have a song with Kanye like 5 years ago. So,
Yeah,
but-
Kanye put him on. He's the piano guy.
but a lot of dead people have had songs come out lately, so that's possible too. But I think factually, what people want you to believe is that he's alive. Am I correct on that one?
Because he is, yes.
Okay, well, if you want to think that, I will put out some facts for you. So the
Okay.
first fact, he secretly died in 1966.
Nope.
I mean, that's just simply not a fact.
Well, he did.
I don't agree, but I'm listening.
So
Yes.
Paul McCartney secretly died in 1966, and the other members of the Beatles covered up his death. And there is a ton of evidence here to show that this is very correct. So when Paul McCartney died, they hired someone who looked like him and sang like him. So
You're fine. I mean, you can just look. You go down any street, and especially like Downton Abbey, you can just pick any Joe Schmo off the street, get him to quit eating his black pudding. He'll sound just like Paul McCartney.
Well,
That easy.
I'm glad you brought up Abbey Road, because we'll be getting there in just a second. But let's just say he might have been dead. So the Beatles were like, oh shit, oh fuck, Paul's dead. We gotta cover this up. He killed himself. So
Okay.
they're like, fuck, we gotta cover this up. We're at the height of our popularity. We gotta get a new Paul McCartney. So they get their new Paul McCartney, right? And they've left clues in their albums that Paul is dead. You guys might know.
Albums you've listened to many times.
Yeah.
Famous Beatle fan, Zach.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, have you guys listened? I've listened to maybe like 5 Beatles songs. Hey Jude, the John Lennon one,
In the church corridor where the wedding's
not that one.
been.
The Submarine one.
Yellow Submarine.
Yep. The list ends
Come on.
there.
The
John-
supposed to keep naming Beatles songs? No, thank you.
I honestly,
Tell you what, I couldn't name a single song. Once you said "Hey Jude," it sounded familiar.
Hard
Other than
Day's
that,
Night. Hard Day's Night.
Nothing.
no.
It's been a hard day's night. And
Well,
I've been working like a dog.
but I'll tell you what.
Come on.
No.
The Beatles are good.
You never heard that?
I just want to put that out there.
Together Right now.
Oh, I've heard that. Okay, I've heard that one.
Oh, that
I didn't know
one.
that was.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, for some reason I thought that was something else.
Well, they kind of.
Are you sure that's not-
Well, let's let
Yeah, okay, but-
noted Beatles historian Zach finish here.
I might not know their songs, but I know, like, I can recognize that Paul McCartney is dead, and that I can recognize their album artwork. And one of their most like infamous is the Sgt. Pepper's.
Yep.
Yeah, infamous artwork, very famous.
Going on Google.
So It's like with a bunch of people lined up. It's all colorful. It's pretty cool. So the Sgt. Pepper's album, there are a trail of evidence that Paul McCartney is dead. One of them being a line that says he blew his mind out in his car.
Do they say that Paul McCartney blew his mind out in a car?
They say he.
Oh, the ominous he.
The ominous. Well, there's also more.
Everybody knows when you hear the pronoun he, it's everybody's thinking of Paul.
There's also a song where they say Paul is dead. Miss him, miss him. I don't know many Pauls in my life, but I know Paul McCartney's dead.
I would argue there's a few Pauls.
Name one.
Paul McCartney.
Well, he's dead.
Sounds like he's dead.
Jake Paul.
Well, first name.
That's
Name
Paul.
a Paul. Nope, that's
Logan
not a Paul.
Paul
No.
from Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Nope.
Who?
Don't know what the fuck that is.
No, Paul from the I'm Paul monkey from the end credits of Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, okay. That's
Or Paul the Alien. It wasn't that the show.
Oh, we got to power rank Pauls. It was, hi, I'm Paul.
I generally
Yeah,
can't think of many other Pauls.
I'm Googling
Paul
famous
Walker.
Pauls. Paul. Oh! Oh, no!
How could you not? How could you forget our Lord and Savior
Cut.
Paul?
Well,
Walker?
I call him God, so there's a difference there.
Boy. Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce,
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti. Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Okay, now that you're getting the gears kicking.
So just a
These
little
are fair
fact,
facts.
Just a little
Yeah.
fact about the song "I'm So Tired" by the Beatles, which is where
They say
supposedly
Paul is
Zach
dead.
thinks he's saying Paul is
Well,
dead. Paul
I
is
don't
dead.
think this. I'm just stating information.
John Lennon wrote the song during the Beatles' stay in India while suffering a bout of insomnia.
Okay,
Probably
couldn't sleep because his friend died.
the words actually muttered at the end of the song are supposed to be "Monsieur, Monsieur, how about another?"
What?
Which I've never
No.
heard the song,
Yep.
so I don't know how
How do you
those two
mix
can be
those two up?
confused. But apparently he's mumbling at the end of the song. But okay,
Okay.
maybe he's saying Paul is dead. Paul is dead. I don't think so.
Probably. None of us have heard the song, so we don't have a first-hand witness on this one. But moving
I brought
on.
the experts in.
Moving on. The Sgt. Pipples, the infamous album cover. What did I call? What did I say?
Pipples. Sergeant
Oh.
Pipples.
Well, you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
So if you take that album cover and you put it in a mirror, and if you look at the drums, the drums say, hold up, Lonely Hearts. Kind of weird to have on some drums, but if you look at it in a mirror, it says, or at least it looks like it says, one X, he die, 111.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Is he pronouncing
It does.
Is he
No,
pronouncing Elon Musk's kid's name here?
Wait, it does? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't take a...
Just Google Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. He die. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean, but
Right.
it does say that.
But it does say
boy.
he die.
He do be die.
There's a
Yeah, to be die.
so there's also a scrapped cover art that they had from their 1966 album. Really fucked up. It had a bunch of like meat in front of them. I'm not gonna go into more details, but there's some conspiracy that might be symbolism, being as though it was the year that he died. So, interesting fact there. Also, Abbey Road, another infamous cover, well-known album, Abbey Road, everyone's favorite, where they're walking like on the into the road or whatever, lined up. It's beautiful, beautiful cover. But it's interesting that he is in the front of them walking, and he's dressed in all white. Followed by Ringo, everyone's favorite Beatle, in all black. almost to
Nobody's
reference,
ever done that.
almost to reference a funeral, mourning, but followed by George, everyone's most forgotten Beatle, wearing jeans to symbolize
I can't believe George Harrison ever wore jeans. This is wow.
to symbolize the gravedigger.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you.
What?
John Lennon is dressed in all white.
John is. I had to. John is.
Paul
You're right.
is the third,
But
is the third one there.
but Paul's barefoot. He doesn't
Nobody
need
ever did
shoes.
that in the
He
60s.
doesn't
This is
need.
unprecedented.
He doesn't need shoes in the afterlife.
Paul is barefoot. I'm just making sure we get our facts here, facts straight here.
Yeah, Paul is barefoot. He
And
doesn't-
Paul also has a cigarette in his hand, so.
I mean, come on. The facts add up. The facts really are adding up here.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I'm not connecting these dots.
I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I'll tell you what. It's a theory.
okay.
I am not the number one expert of the Beatles. I will wear that on my sleeve. But I will tell you what. Paul McCartney's dead.
Paul McCartney is dead.
It's just like Avril Lavigne. She's also dead.
That was going to bring
concept.
That was going to bring me into the whole. Do you guys buy any of these
like the 27 Club shit?
celebrities? No. Okay, that's different. That's just a sad thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys buy the like celebrities faking deaths? Because it happens all the time. XXX Tentacion. He's not dead. Tupac, not dead.
It's kind of crazy how X, Paul McCartney,
Elvis,
Tupac, Elvis, and Hitler are all just hanging out in Argentina. People forget that.
That is
And
the
Avril
rumor.
Lavigne.
Kurt
And Avril
Cobain.
Lavigne.
What's the one about? Oh, people
I
think about
almost
Kurt
buy the
Cobain.
Avril Lavigne one.
What?
I can't remember it, but I can't remember buying it at one point.
Well, that's kind
Who
of
is that?
The Avril Lavigne one is more. She sings the Skater Girl song.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was
Skater Boy?
alive. I could have sworn.
No, she is alive. The conspiracy
No, she's
theory.
dead.
You ask.
No, the
Oh.
conspiracy theory is that okay, so the original one is dead, but she got replaced. That's kind of the same thing as like Gucci Mane. How like when he came out
I
of
buy
prison,
that. I
he's
buy
a different
that.
person. Yeah.
Oh my god, do I buy that?
He's so different. Dude.
Yeah, there is. I did want to bring up the second theory, which one of you guys touched on, Elvis. So you guys might know
Also-
a little indie folk singer named Elvis. So he's
Cover band artist.
turns out he's not dead.
Okay.
So we're flipping back and forth here. So if you didn't buy the last one, I'll just spoiler alert. Don't think you're gonna buy this because writing some of this down.
I remember
It
this
makes
one
you think.
happened up a couple of years ago.
So-
This
Yeah,
one
I'm curious to hear what you got.
So
Thing.
some people, well, I guess a well-known fact is that Elvis died on August 16th, 1977. Or did
On the
he?
toilet. On the toilet.
Yep.
Which is also kind of weird by itself. You
Yep.
have to think about that. It's a little
It's
suspicious.
unideal.
So, man, dude, this one is just... This one's amazing. So, grainy footage leaked online. You know a theory is going to start off great when your proof is grainy footage.
Grainy footage. Yeah.
So,
Perfect start.
so grainy footage of a bearded man has been posted on YouTube, and apparently it's been posted by The Shadow. So there's this
Reliable
guy.
source.
So there's this old man who works at Graceland. You guys might know Graceland.
Nope.
Where he lived.
It's where he lived.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest.
That
I'm
was the
glad
name
someone
of,
else
like,
knew.
the state.
I thought it was like the home of like rock and roll or something. I don't know. So at Graceland, someone works there. An old bearded man, an 81-year-old actually, which is coincidental. But so there's footage of
Is that
this,
how old Elvis would be if he was alive?
makes you think.
Okay.
So he works there. He's like a janitor there. And there's a video of him, and in the video, he puts up a V. Hold on, it gets better. So he puts up a V, which it's some kind of hand signal that represents the Roman numeral 9. And as we all know, the Roman numeral 9 symbolizes I'm alive. And that's where the theory ends.
I see it.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm glad.
As we all know, the Roman numeral 9.
I'm alive.
Whenever I'm seeing anybody doing this, I'm thinking, that man's living.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dead man put up that sign, I suppose. So.
But yeah, I think.
You can't.
Go on.
You can't. How do you make a Roman numeral 9 with one hand? Because it'd have to be an I and then an X right after it. How do you make an X
you're right.
with
shit? Okay, well, it's a different Roman numeral than it's a different Roman numeral than you guys are thinking. It's the other Roman numerals where they go by.
Would it be 2?
No.
Or no,
No,
this
V
is
5.
5.
I'll tell you what. This is very clearly a 9 in some Roman numerals.
Okay.
No,
I have-
Depends which
not
Roman
any.
expert you ask.
I have the facts to prove it. Me. But
Okay, yep.
so I think this is fair. You know, he would be 81. He would be bearded. He would be at his old stomping grounds in
would be
Graceland. I think that's also the coolest thing. If I was a celebrity who was going to fake my death, it's kind of sick to be like an old legend at your, like, Captain America, like, coming back in Endgame. How cool would that be? Like,
It would suck because everybody thinks you're fucking dead and nobody knows who you are.
well, you can
The worst
tell.
part
That's the point.
the worst
That's
part
the
is,
point
yeah.
of being famous is so you can walk around and be like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking Elvis, dude.
No,
And then
the other hand would be like, if you are Elvis, everybody knows who you look like or what you look like.
Well, not
It's
anymore.
like-
He's 81.
He had to go a couple years. He didn't just become 81 years old. So before he like became old and disfigured, what the hell is he doing? to
Argentina.
not get noticed by a single person on Earth.
Just been
also,
chilling in
like,
Argentina.
if he's like the janitor at the Graceland place, he's just like the creepy old dude that just knows way too much about the one person. Like, oh, did you know this about him?
Well, that's kind of fun. You're talking about yourself. It's you.
Yeah, but no one knows that.
You can also
I'll
just
be honest
make
with
up
you.
stories.
The Elvis one is the only. I mean, not because of any of the reasons you have laid out, Zach, but the Elvis one is the only one that, like, I think. I'm not saying I think it's true, but I think could potentially be true because all the other like celebrity deaths that people say, like, you know, they're fake, they're still alive. Like even in 1996 when Tupac died, like there were so many cameras back then, and nowadays with the internet and cameras, like it's not like South America or wherever supposedly all these people go also don't have access to the internet.
Yeah.
You know, these people would be found out.
That's
But Elvis, back in the 60s, maybe you could get away with something, you know? Like kind of like when was the whole DB Cooper thing? That guy just disappeared off the face of the earth.
elaborate.
You don't know who DB Cooper is?
No.
Nope.
Please tell the story.
He I can't remember when it happened, but so he robbed a bank and like went
I know what
and
this
took,
is.
like a commercial airplane, like basically hijacked it. He couldn't fly it, but he let everybody off the plane, and this is like when the cops didn't negotiate with anybody. Or oh no, he didn't rob a bank. Sorry, he told the cops to bring him X amount of dollars. He would let everybody off the plane. Yeah, like $200,000, and so they just did it, and he took off with like the pilot and the co-pilot or whatever, and then he supposedly jumped out somewhere over Washington, somewhere out west, and was just never seen or heard from ever again.
When was
That
this?
one's great because I want to say it was like the fucking 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
What's great about that, and that like any time period before that, you can get into some wild conspiracies because that's like it gets really folklore-y. And you, I know whenever you see like a picture, because I remember when this guy once he started going, the only like picture you see of him is like artist sketch or something, or like you know how you would go to like one of those people who work for the police who like, I can't remember what it's called. You're just
The sketch of the
like a sketch artist,
Yeah.
and the only picture you see of like W.B. Cooper is that like sketch that they did for the police. So it just adds to this like mystery of him and everything. I love that.
So he just
That's
like
pretty sick.
jumped out of the plane.
That's
like,
the
over-
that's
so-
the theory.
It happened. It actually happened in 1971, which is much
Oh, wow.
later than I had thought. But so apparently he had like, I don't know if they had 4 or if he had requested 4, because there were 3 other people on board the plane. Maybe like the flight attendant. He made a flight attendant stay or something like that too. But so he had requested and got 4 parachutes as well. But there, like, a lot of people are thinking, well, why would you need 4 parachutes
They
when?
crashed the plane.
I don't know all of it, but I don't know. But there's like a lot of, I remember, I mean, this was probably when we were in high school, so 6, 7, 8 years ago. There was a big thing in the news where people had found some money, or maybe they were searching for money out west, because they do still have like the serial numbers for the bills they gave him, because that's how they eventually would have ended up tracking him down, is if he spent them and they got back in circulation or whatever, you know.
So this like confirmed they gave the money to this guy.
Yeah, they gave it to him. Yeah, they gave the money to him because, dude, I remember when I first heard that, I was like, God damn, could you imagine how easy it would be to fucking rob something
Right.
back in the 70s? They don't negotiate at all. Their training was to just give them the money so no like civilians get hurt or whatever. You know what I mean?
It was just easier
Makes
back
sense.
the day.
It was easier back.
They
in the
were
day.
they were system robbers.
Yeah.
It's like how we always slander old athletes.
Yeah. Jesse James, punk bitch. That's
Yeah,
what I said.
yeah. It's too easy back then.
He could hit anybody with a revolver from about 100 yards away. I bet I could do it in 200.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's right. No one would find me. That's the best part about like watch. If you ever watch those, like, I hate these shows, but those like those murder shows that they always have on and everything, it's like, yeah, you just piece it together and you just slowly figure out how you can cover your steps.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like the Dwight Schrute, the perfect crime.
Yep.
Yeah, you get the chandelier, you marry his wife, go to Russia. You're pregnant. Like, just some weird
Got
shit.
all the steps. Another like old conspiracy one I always liked was Rasputin. That's another one that's like right before you could prove fucking anything. So the tall tales for Rasputin are just hilariously ridiculous when it comes to
What is Rasputin?
Rasputin was a self-proclaimed healer that became friends with the Tsar and his wife in the end of World War II. And like he existed and everything. And the whole thing with him is that he was very, very charismatic for some reason, and also a crazed, drunken sex addict. And essentially what he would do is go to these like Christian groups and become their leader through word of mouth and everything. And he would go from group to group, and eventually he befriended the Tsar and his wife. Well, because the Tsar and his wife and their whole family lineage has a lot of incest and everything in it, their son was a hemophiliac. And so he would have all these episodes, nothing would work. For whatever reason, when Rasputin was with the son was seemingly way, way better. And so they because medicine wasn't totally understood and they were sort of superstitious, they just said, fuck it, we got to keep this guy around so our son stays alive. And because of his importance to the Tsar and his wife, he was basically untouchable. And he started influencing all this policy and everything. And he's part of the reason that Russia collapsed, because he was basically like this big tabloid monster who was just all over the news in like the 40s. And it turned public opinion against the Tsar and his wife. But so basically what happened with his death is that a lot of the nobles around conspired to kill this guy because they were worried what he was doing to influence the Tsar. And so they conspired to kill him they invited him to one of these nobles, like a dinner party essentially, but it was just the two of them. And they heavily poisoned his food and drink. And so they're sitting there, he's eating with the guy. he keeps eating the food, he keeps drinking, nothing's happening. And they're worried, like, what the hell is going on? Why isn't he dropping dead? Because there was enough to kill an army in there. But because Rasputin was such a heavy alcoholic, he was able to build sort of a tolerance to the poison. Mm-hmm. And so he wasn't dying from the poison. The noble goes upstairs. He's panicked, talking to the others like, this motherfucker's still alive. What do we do? Because they don't want the Tsar to know they were the ones who killed him. But they're like, whatever, it's too dangerous. We're just going to shoot him. So they go downstairs, shoot him like 4 times in the chest, and they just assume he's dead. They leave him down there. Mm-hmm. Eventually, like half an hour to an hour later, he comes to, goes upstairs, just covered in blood, and goes into like a drunken rage stupor and just starts going ape shit. They shoot him a few more times. Rasputin runs away. As he's running into the snow, they shoot him in the back twice more. Goes down for a little while, gets back up again, starts running towards the river, and they shoot him like 2 to 3 more times. And I don't think they found his body, but it's assumed that he drowned in the river. And then but because of this cult of personality all around him and the quote unquote mystical, mysterious powers that some think he had, there's all these conspiracies about how he survived, how he actually had powers, how he could cure the sick, and all this insane stuff.
Okay.
That was my story.
That's
okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I only caught the second half, but that sounded nuts. I was reading about D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, the Rasputin conspiracy is he if you ever just want a weirdo to read about, that's like top 5.
What was the time frame that happened?
Quite alive.
In the 40s.
In the 40s, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
1940s. Because and it was just insanity how this one dude who was just a total peasant just talked and slept his way to that weird position and had played a major part into why Russia actually turned to Leninism and everything.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Fun fact.
The more you know.
So I think the lesson from that is become an alcoholic. You can't get poisoned.
That's what I say. Take a lot of bullet wounds.
Like,
just heal. That's it.
Yeah.
dude. Oh man, it's like that. It's Jordan mentality. Just think you can't die. Probably can't.
I agree with it.
Yeah.
The mind does things that we don't understand.
Rasputin got shot. He looked at the camera and he said, "It became personal."
It was at that moment I knew. And when I walked up and I charged him, if you don't want to play that gateway,
It became personal.
don't play that way. Cut.
This isn't. Maybe there is a conspiracy theory around this, but just speaking about poison and like I don't know, kind of about the politics, not really. But do you guys remember when I think it was a Bosnian politician?
Everybody's favorite.
Like it was on video. I think this also happened when we were in high school, maybe in middle school. Like in the middle of like a courtroom or whatever,
Yes.
just poisoned himself, drank poison, and killed himself.
Bosnia or South America.
I think he was Bosnian.
Either way.
I think I
That sounds
remember that.
familiar.
Yeah.
But I mean,
He
what a crazy way to go out.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Holy
What a
that
move
picture
that
was
is.
like a fucking meme in like 2013 of this dude, just this big boy, just with this little like bottle of poison, and just while you just had this crowd of people around him. It is surreal.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts. But man, yeah, I don't know.
No, the main reason I bring that up is because I was curious if any of you guys like knew anything about that and if you knew why he did that, because that just
I think he was going to be tried for crimes. I can't remember exactly what it was.
that would make sense. Also, that happened in 2017.
That was like 2013. Oh god.
Yeah, I thought I remember that from high
I thought
school.
that was when I was in high school.
Yeah, it might have been a different thing.
A lot of
Oh,
poison.
Changed.
Okay, so he was indicted and voluntarily surrendered to the ICTY in 2004. In 2013, he was convicted for war crimes against the Bosniak population during the Croat-Bosniak War. So yeah, upon hearing the guilty verdict upheld in November 17th, Prajlak stated that he rejected the verdict of the court and committed suicide by poisoning himself in the courtroom.
That's a hell of a way to go.
That's the move.
Yeah.
Shitty dude.
What a way to prove
Right.
your innocence.
Right.
I'm gonna say this, and I think my fellow Farmcast members would agree. We're an anti-war crime pod, so I think we can all get that out of the way.
Yeah.
this
I mean,
guy-
hey, no
that
controversial
being said-
statements.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. I don't like to get political.
Yeah.
You know me. But that is a top 5 way to go. Talk about just going out on top. Just letting it ride on camera in the middle of a giant hearing.
That's a
There's
baller
no better way
move.
to go.
I'm so innocent. I'm gonna drink this poison and die.
Or I'm guilty as fuck. Dude,
See ya. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you gonna do about it? Dying in the courtroom once you get sentenced to some crime like that, it's like the ultimate, like, stepping
all
over
right.
the court. Like, it's
All right,
stepping
I've
over
had
the
enough of
judge.
this.
Yeah.
Take matters into your own hands. And honestly, what a better way! What a way to kind of clear your name. Nobody's even going to talk about the war crimes anymore. They're just going to talk about how this dude went out.
It's pretty
On
sick.
top.
This guy was charged with 4 counts of grievous breaches of the Geneva Conventions, willful killing of civilians, 6 counts in violations of the laws of custom war, cruel treatment or unlawful labor, so basically like concentration camps, 5 counts of crimes against humanity, which included everything from prosecutions on political, racial, and religious grounds, murder, deportation, imprisonment, amongst many other inhumane acts. What a shitty dude.
Yeah.
Hey, guy. Yeah, wow. Got a lot
Really had
going
a fucking checklist, didn't he? Like, all right, did this and this and this.
It also says here he chose to defend himself instead of using a lawyer.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Psychopath, dude.
Fucking insane.
He was so confident in himself.
He said, fuck it.
Just steps up there after hearing all the prosecution. He said, I disagree.
Yeah.
Here's my account of the event.
Dude, that was probably his long-term plan. He's like, fuck it, I don't need a lawyer. I'm going down swinging.
Boy. Man. Also, good luck getting a lawyer to defend that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man,
I
I
gotta be staying out of that one.
feel bad for the public attorney who's, like, fresh out of law school, just has to get tossed into there. Oh.
It reminds me of like the SpongeBob meme with Patrick and fuck, what's his name?
SpongeBob.
No,
Yeah.
Manta Ray.
Mr.
his
Krabs.
Plankton.
No, the evil
Sandy.
guy, Manta Ray, like
The My Leg guy.
with the wallet meme with Patrick.
Man Ray.
It's like, yeah, Manta Ray.
Damn.
Man
It's like,
I was gonna
Man
go
Ray.
Barnacle.
Sorry.
Barnacle Boy.
sorry, but it's like
Mermaid Man
you
and
did
Barnacle
these
Boy.
crimes. Yes. So you'll be guilty. Yes. So if you plead guilty, you'll go to jail. Yes. All right. So you're guilty. I didn't do it.
yeah.
It says here you threw about 300,000 people into an internment camp. Prove it.
yeah. Didn't do it. Oh shit.
You got pictures?
Yeah. Hey, do you have any eyewitnesses that you didn't do this crime? Yeah. Me.
You like? It's
So
funny. to laugh about.
Zach is basically the same as Slobodan Parjic with his conspiracy theories. I am the law on this subject.
Wait. What's Slobodan?
Full circle.
Slobodan Prajlak is the man who killed himself in.
Oh.
He
Yeah.
said, "Bottoms
Hey,
up."
you know what? Fair enough. I was there in 1966. Were you?
Hey.
Paul McCartney.
Wait a minute. That means Zach's a boomer.
Oh.
No.
The worst crime of them all. Oh man.
Wouldn't let it happen to me.
Oh yeah. That would be gross. But I think that
Paul
would
McCartney, a boomer, and he poisoned himself. Life's crazy, man.
yeah. I think though if there's something I would ever want to try, if I knew I had a second life, I'd fake my death.
Myself.
I'd try it.
You can
I'd
play
try.
Second Life.
Okay, well,
Ooh, just the same.
that's true.
Zach, you honestly don't really need a second life if you're just faking your own death.
Yeah.
Well, but
Second
then you
life
get
IRL.
caught. If you get caught, if you has
How do they prove it?
like I
There's a lot of lookalikes out there.
I never thought about that, but like let's say Elvis did fake his death, and
Yeah.
like there's proof, there's DNA proof that this man is Elvis Presley, and he's 81 years old.
Then what?
What do you do?
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's illegal. Oh,
I know. I think it is. I think it is.
I think it's
gotta be illegal.
Especially if
I
you
feel
change
like-
your name.
I don't know.
No,
Actually,
no, I feel like the only way it would be illegal is if like you faked a murder of yourself or something like that, and the cops and the government or
Oh.
something had to like waste time and money trying to figure out a murder that
lied
never
to
happened.
authorities about it.
You would still. I still
Then
think
again, if
something
you
would
fake your
happen.
death and you don't get discovered until like 40 years later, that's way past the statute of limitations.
Right.
So
I don't know.
no, I mean,
This
I
is-
know,
this
I know we're
is-
getting big-brained here, but
Maybe it's some elaborate scheme that Tupac had. Maybe he's coming back soon.
Lord knows
Man, we need somebody
But
to
like
save hip hop.
that is something that like is actually shut the fuck up. That is actually something that's interesting because there's only rumors about who killed Tupac. There
Alright,
isn't
no, it
a
was
definitive
Suge Knight.
answer.
No,
There's-
Suge
There's a
Knight.
lot of people who think it's Diddy.
Hold
A
on,
lot
Becker,
of people thought it was Diddy.
I found something about faking your own death. So,
Hit
a
us.
fake death, also called like pseudocide, is the case where
I love that term.
evidence exists that you are dead to mislead others. This is done for a variety of reasons, such as fraudulently collect insurance money to avoid capture by law enforcement or for some other crime. Unless the furtherance of some other crime, faking one's death is not necessarily illegal.
It's kind of that makes sense.
People fake their own deaths sometimes do so by pretend drownings because it provides a plausible reason for the absence of a body. So if you fake your death, say
Is there
like
Is there
say
any
they
been like a
drowned.
confirmed one recently? Like a confirmed death faker?
I'm sure some weird like
wait,
fucking Wyoming, Nebraska people have done it. Maybe in like Iowa, and it just goes under the rug.
there's actually a handful.
Hell yeah.
Arkady Babchenko, a Russian journalist living in the Ukraine who lived in 2018, faked his own assassination, which was widely reported as international press as part of a sting operation aimed at exposing an agent sent to kill him. Babchenko's appearance at a press conference the day after his death caused international sensation. I remember hearing about this.
Imagine showing up to the press conference about your own death.
What's up, bitch?
It's like
the
the
opening-
meme. Oh,
Wait,
No, well, his was part of like a sting operation.
but he went to the press conference.
After they got like the guy they were after.
I see, that makes sense.
it's
I
like
thought this was like a GTA 5, like Michael going to his own funeral right in the beginning.
yeah. I was gonna say it's like the dude who shows up. That meme of the guy showed up my hater's funeral just to make sure that fucker dead or whatever the guy is.
Here's another one. Lucian Ludwig Kosminski, a Polish
What a
American
name.
Holocaust survivor, convicted of swindling other survivors out of restitution money, alleged to have died in 1993, but authorities believed he is still alive.
That's so cool.
What a piece of shit. Oh my God.
I don't know. Fake your death, just cool.
There's one from April of this calendar year.
Yes.
Jammu man charged for faking own death to reach home amid lockdown. In what sounds like a script from a Bollywood movie, a 60-year-old man feigned his own death so that he and his friends could reach their homes in the Poonch district in an ambulance from Jammu, but ran out of luck when a police party recorded their temperature and found them to be alive. So it sounds like they were just like trying to sleep in the back of an ambulance.
Right. Like I don't think that was intentional. Like,
Game plan there, yeah. Like, what's the end game?
It says they just wanted to reach their house because they couldn't. He must have been out somewhere or something, and he couldn't get back to his home amidst the Corona lockdown.
What a
Fuck it, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Oh man. But
That's wild.
it's weird that drowning is the one that like
Disappear to sea. Makes sense.
so dude just tell someone like, hey, I'm going to sea, like
Yes.
see ya, and you just like hop out the boat. I'm assuming you're in a boat and you just swim
Or like,
somewhere?
I imagine like if you're like by the ocean, you could say like, oh hey, me and my buddy, like even if you don't like surf, hey, we're gonna go surfing. You know what I mean?
That's
or something
fair,
like
yeah.
that. You know, like
And you just
Post
leave
one
the
Instagram picture. That's it.
leave your surfboard on the beach and fucking peace out.
But wouldn't your body like end up on shore?
No, it would get swept into the ocean. I think.
Oh,
In most cases.
I got
Because-
yeah.
So a little science explanation here. A lot of people think that the waves are what push you, like on a boat, but it's the wind that pushes you. You know, so your body wouldn't get like a lot of people would think that the waves would push you to shore,
yeah.
right? But the wind is what actually pushes you when you're on top of the water.
So the wind wouldn't push you then. You would just
If
your
you're-
body.
no,
would just
presumably you drowned. Yeah, you know.
Okay, that's fair. I guess there is that like undercurrent or whatever. That's
That like if you
sucks
drown,
under.
and if you drown, your lungs get filled up with water, so you're going to sink. You know, that's just how it works.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn, maybe Farmcast.
See ya.
Finally, I could start the farm cast too. And the Becker cast gets commenced.
Finally, the Becker cast can prevail.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm glad we had this conversation. It was a conversation that had to have been had.
Had to.
Yeah.
The people had to know. Those were two conspiracies that did not happen.
Well, we'll let the
don't
people
know.
decide. We will let the people decide. You have no factual evidence that either of these are wrong.
Hey, Zach, where can they continue the discussion of these conspiracy theories?
That's a great question, Becker.
I was wondering the same.
On social media, at the Farmcast Pod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Continue the discussion. I think we started the spark of a very interesting topic. So, news sources, you have to come for us for these. We might have just had breaking news right here on a few things. So news sources come to us, the Farmcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at the Farmcast Pod. You can also find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube, the Farmcast. Follow us on all those platforms. Subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, continue that damn discussion. And make sure also on Apple, give us a 5-star review if you enjoyed the podcast. Helps us out a lot. And share your friend. Tell them about the Farmcast. It's a great, welcoming place where we talk about faking death. So, take care. Have a great time. Thank you for listening. Stay safe out there. And bye.